do a quick tutorial on how to hybrid with the new combat beta. This is just my way, my preference, and my opinion, and the way I do it right now. Things might change since it's a beta, so this is what I'm doing now, and I'll just give you a tutorial on how to effectively hybrid. So, as you guys know, there's a new combat bar, and there's more than one tab of combat bars. So to make use of all of them, right now there's only 5. I think they might update it to like 10 or something. But anyway, to use all of them effectively, I set up each bar as a type of combat. So my first bar is mage, all my mage abilities. I'll be further explaining all the abilities and what I do with this bar later on in the video, but right now my first one is maging, my second one is ranging, and my third one is meleeing, but for now I'm using as my defense abilities since I'm only hybriding, not tribiding. So what I do is I set up my 1 through 5 as equipping my armor. So I'm wearing my mage armor right now, so if I want to switch into my ranging armor, I go to my range tab and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I switch all my armor. Instead of clicking, you can just use your keyboard. So if I want to go back into maging armor, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now I have 5 as my blood fire barrage. So since I don't have a 5th slot to use right now, I'm keeping my helm, my split bar down throughout the whole process. But anyway, yeah, that's how you switch armors. First tab and second tab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switched into ranging abilities. Boom. Go back to my first tab. Switch quickly into my mage armor. Look how fast I can switch. That's way faster than regular clicking. Look at that. That's way faster. Oops, messed up. So yeah, that's how you switch armors. To set up your hotkeys for switching tabs, as you see, I'm not clicking to go to a different tab. I'm pressing shift and the number that I want to number of tab I want to use. So the first tab I press shift 1, shift 2 is my second tab, shift 3 is my third tab. To do this, you just right click customize modifier key, you read this, and I set mine as shift. You can set yours as whatever you want. Mine is shift as personal preference, so shift. It successfully bound to shift. So now I can just hold down shift and press 2, and it switches to my ranging tab. A tip that I would give you that a lot of World of Warcraft players use, and I think other MMOs, but this is what I do. I memorize what tab is what type of combat abilities. So my first tab is all maging, my second tab is all ranged, and my third tab is melee or my defense abilities. So I just memorize it. So I know if I'm gonna go switch into mage, I press 1. I don't even have to look at my keyboard. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have to look at my abilities either. I can concentrate on the fight. That way I can be more accurate and more focused on the fight itself rather than switching and wasting time and wasting focus on other things. So if I want to switch into ranging, I just shift 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? I know my ranging is my second tab. Another trick that I like to use is putting instead of after 5, I keybind QWER, which is right under the key tab, and VTF. Those are other buttons I like to use that feel comfortable. I use those buttons in WoW, so it's personal preference. You can change it to whatever you want to. And I use QWER in League of Legends, so I figured use that. Since it's 1, 2, 3, 4 is right above QWER, well, depending what keyboard you have, but for mine it's right under. That way I can easily make shift in my hands. So what I do, this is a really good trick and a good habit you guys should be using too. I use every tab I have the same type of spells. So to further clear that up, every T keybind is my ultimate ability. See, like my ultimate ability is Tsunami and Maging, and for ranging, my ultimate ability is Unload. I keep all my ultimates on T, keybinded as T, so I know where everything is. I use all my stuns as F. See, my stun my stun. I use all my combo stuns as R. I use all my teleports or escapes as V. My ranging escape is V as well. And I use for Q, right now I am auto casting Ice Barrage, so that way I just right click attack. Say if I'm attacking this guy, Jaguars, say if I'm attacking this guy, right click attack, I press Q and it automatically starts auto casting. That way you don't have to spam Q and like barrage whenever. It always barrages whenever you can. And as my W, I put my lowest cooldown spell. I always keep my lowest cooldown spell as W. And E is my threshold abilities and so forth. The same thing in ranging, except that my Q is another low cooldown spell. Low cooldown spell, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Threshold, my basic, my combo stun, etc. That way I know everything is organized and I know what spell I'm using without even looking at the combat bar. I've memorized the spells, I memorize what they do, I memorize what hotkey they are. That way I can use this really effectively. And as this is another trick I use. As the third tab, I have anticipation. Anticipation is a very, very good skill. I believe it's a good skill. The reason being is whenever somebody uses a stun, so say if you're fighting a major, right, and you're both maging, you're fighting a major, and he uses his impact, and you know you're stunned for 3 seconds, and the cooldown is 15 seconds. So once you get stunned by that major, you know he used impact. That way you have 15 seconds to use your anticipation. Because of what anticipation does, it reduces all damage by 10% and providing immunity to stuns. But if you read your stun ability, targets immune to stun instead suffer 300% of active spells damage. You do not want to use anticipation when their stun is up. So if you're stunned and you know you're stunned, you have 15 seconds to use anticipation whenever you feel like it. You need to use it in a 5-second interval. That way you have 10 seconds until their stun is back on cooldown. So their stun is cooldown for 15 seconds, but anticipation lasts for 10 seconds. That means you have to do it by the time he stuns in 5 seconds. So when he stuns, you have 5 seconds to use anticipation if you don't want to get stunned for 300% magic damage. So the major stuns you, I press shift 3, go press an anticipation, and that way I have 10% damage reduction throughout the rest of 10 seconds. That's a very, very good technique to use. I think a lot of people should use it. And freedom, if I get stunned and you need to eat but you can't because you're stunned, I go press 3, I press freedom, and it's spam eat. You can also put rock tails in your ability bar too as 3, so you can just press 2 and spam rock tail eating if you're like in really bad trouble, or you can put Cerberus, etc. And yeah, that's another technique. And a really good technique for prayers is I set my prayers all as my 4th tab. And the way I set it up is since my first tab is all my maging abilities, I set my maging curse as number 1, and my raging curse as number 2, and my melee curse as number 3. That way, if I'm maging, if I'm on a range, I put on all my ranging armor, I switch to my curses, and I press 2. That way I have my ranging curse on, and I can just switch back to my ranging bar, no lag. I can switch back to my ranging bar and I have my ranging curse on. So you see my ranging curse is on. A really effective way of using prayers and hybriding. You can also, if you're not using curses, you can use this as like for protective melee if you're just doing 1 defense hybriding, but I don't think that's going to be capable in combat anymore, so yeah, that's all up to you. So Soul Split is 4 and my deflect melee is 5. That's a really good prayer technique to use. So that's basically it. That's how I hybrid in combat better right now. Hybriding right now does not seem to be very effective at all because meleeers are pounding through me right now. They're really ripping through my armor and taking me down really quick, so I don't think hybriding is going to be viable. I don't know, it might be my defense level, it might be the way combat levels are distributed now and whatever, But yeah, that's just a really effective way of how to use your hotkeys. A lot of WoW players are probably doing the same thing I am, but this is the way I'm doing it, my personal preference, and I really wanted to share this, be the first person on YouTube to share this. So if you guys want to show your friends, please do, and spread the word about this. And yeah, this is the guide I wanted to share with you guys, and peace.